This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the all-electric Prologue SUV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the generous passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for this day.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. I am so happy that you decided to join us. If you like this podcast, you should go over and listen to a bunch of the other ones in our network with like the 5-Minute Basketball Coaching Podcast or High School Hoops or Coaching Youth Hoops. All of those are, I think, interesting, and we would love if you left a 5-star review. You can leave those 1-star reviews at home. But before we jump into the topic today, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. Mention Coach Unplugged, and you'll get $450 off. You'll get great customer service. It is. I can tell you from someone that's still coaching, it has helped my team immensely. I can't tell you the number of shots that we have taken on our Dr. Dish machines. And then also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. 25 years ago when I took over a program that no one wanted, that had 5 winning seasons in 35 years, I was the only applicant. No one wanted it. I would have killed for a resource like teachhoops.com. It took me years to turn it into a national powerhouse. And I have put all that secret sauce inside of teachhoops.com. So come over and check it out. 14-day free trial. It will give you the roadmap. It will give you me. It will give you one-on-one calls and office hours and a community of like-minded coaches. I think you'll love it. Let's head off to the podcast. All right, Coach, do you have a favorite drill or practice thing that you do that maybe a younger coach, you're being Yoda, that you could explain to them that they might be able to use a practice that might be like what I refer to as a golden nugget?
Yes. A friend of mine who's a coaching mentor of mine from Seattle, before he got into coaching, and he was a legend out in Seattle, but before he got into coaching, he was sort of working as like a sports reporter and doing that type of stuff. And he was lucky enough to interview the great Hubie Brown. And he asked Hubie Brown, if you could only do one drill every day, what would that be? And Hubie shared a drill with him that has become one of my favorites. And I call it the Hubie Brown drill, but I love that. First of all, I love that. I always name drills after like where I get them from. I do that. I think that's absolutely. Yeah. And I did a post on it, which I shared with you, but it was on the Basketball Hoop Scoop website that I did. Gosh, it's maybe been 10 years ago now that I put it up there, but it's a drill that my good teams have all loved and begged to do it every day. The best teams I've had, like they keep their Hubie Brown teams the same the whole year and like keep score in the locker room for like the bad teams that I've had, when I say, all right, we're doing Hubie Brown, then the heads hang and you can see the body language. So the good teams love it and the bad teams hate it, which says a lot about the drill, but it's a 4-on-4-on-4 type of drill. So you're doing it like cutthroat style with 3 teams.
Yep.
But it's 4-on-2 if you can envision The basketball court, it's 4-on-2, four offense, 2 defense. And then the volleyball line is very important in this drill. When the basketball goes across the volleyball line, then
which volleyball line?
So on the basket that you're going to.
Okay. The last one, the last end line.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So you come across half court, then you cross the volleyball line.
Yep. So there's several some former volleyball coach that yeah. So he's not talking the half court line. He's not talking the 10-foot line, which is 10 feet from the net. He's talking about that last line, I'm guessing. Right?
Yeah, kind of halfway between the top of the key and half court is essentially. If you don't have a volleyball line there, you could put a piece of tape or something to indicate where that would be.
Painter's tape. Painter's tape is great. I talked to another coach about that this morning. Painter's tape's great if you need to put things on a court. So
so once the ball crosses there, then there's 2 defenders that are sideline right at that level. They can run in. So it's 4-on-2 for a brief second or two, with 2 guys kind of running in. And I don't make them, there's some drills that I do transition wise where you make the guys come running on, like touch the circle before they join. They can just run straight in, but they're still behind the play.
And when do you let them leave?
As soon as the ball goes across that volleyball line, or if wherever you put that painter's tape or whatever. So you come across half court, they can't leave yet. And then when it crosses that volleyball line, as they're approaching the top of the key, those 2 guys can run on.
Do they cheat?
They will occasionally. Yeah. What they'll do more than leaving early is they'll start to cheat down. Level wise, they'll start to cheat down towards free throw line extended so they can get right into action. You got to keep them, up.
No, the only reason I ask is because I've coached long enough. I know they cheat. They'll cheat the drill, but for people trying to run this drill, I'll put the link too that you gave me in the
it's got some good visuals.
I'll put the link in the show notes. But what I'm saying is it's always good when you're doing a drill to know how they're going to cheat, because
how they're going to shortcut. Right.
They're all going to do it.
Keeping a cone up there or something where their line needs to be, because they'll start to cheat down so they can get right into the action. And you want them to be up where they're kind of behind the play. So that it forces a lot of communication and scramble type action. So then you play it out, whether the offensive team scores or the defensive team gets the rebound. It's not a typical drill where the action would stop then if it goes in or they get the defensive rebound and just let the other team go the other way. Like if my team is on offense and we score, the other team has to throw it in and we're going to pick up and press them right away. So we're still playing before the ball goes back the other end, because there's another team, there's 3 teams. So there's another team on the other end still waiting. And so, it'll make more sense if you look at the visual as I talk through it or whatever. But that team throws it in. We're going to press them right away. We're going to we work on like trapping.
So 4-on-4 then.
4-on-4.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So it's the 4. So once those 2 run on, it's 4-on-4.
Right. Okay.
And we're going to press them as they go the other way until the volleyball line, that like before half court now.
Yep.
Once it gets to there, you got to let them go.
And then where do those 4 players, they just fill in the back then?
Yeah, then they'll just be at this end. And so the other team, so the B team then is going the other way.
Right.
There's 2 guys waiting on them with 2 defenders on the side. So ball goes across half court. Once it goes across the volleyball line, then go in that direction, those 2 guys can run on. And so if my team's on offense, we shoot and we miss and the other team gets the rebound, we're trapping that guy right away.
Okay.
Like we're not just stopping.
What happens if they make it? They take it out and you still trap.
They got to take it out, and we're getting right into our pressure.
I like that. I like that aggression. I like that.
And sometimes we'll work on, because we press. So sometimes we'll work on we're guarding the man throwing it in. Sometimes we'll work on putting that guy deep and playing safety or denying the point guard. You can kind of put in whatever sort of parameters you want with that, but it's constant action. The action never, ever stops. I ran a very successful AAU program out in Colorado, and really our tryouts were we played UB Brown for an hour and a half to 2 hours. And at the end of 2 hours of playing Hubie Brown, you find out who is a hooper and who's not.
Right.
Or who can survive and who can't. Because it's constant pace, it's constant pressure. You're not.
And you have 3 teams then.
Yeah, 3 and you can have subs. I mean, we've done it with like 18 guys, so you can have 6 on each team. They just have to figure out their rotations of who's running on and who the 2 are that are, in, because it's 4 on 2. Yeah. And that gives them time to get drinks or whatever.
You need a minimum of 12, probably.
You need 12. You definitely need 12 to do it.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's been a great
I'll put that in the show notes. That will be. You think there's any video online that I could find?
Man, that's a great question. I doubt it. I
doubt it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'll do some digging. If not, I'll
video it sometime. That's a good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I love that. I'll if not, I'll tape it. If not, I mean, it's a great drill.
The other way that they would cheat it, an important rule in that game, because you asked about it earlier. So if my team is on offense and let's say we score, so the other team's throwing it in, we're pressing them. We're going to press them until the volleyball line, almost to half court.
Right.
What they are not allowed to do is just send a guy across half court and just throw it to him.
Right.
They have to actually break the pressure before half court.
Have you
thought they can throw it to a guy?
The other team falling off at half court rather than the other volleyball line?
Kind of falling off at the volleyball line, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they figure out pretty quickly like when to let it go and when not to, and kind of what's within like the spirit of the
game
drill and what's not.
Okay.
But it's important not to let them send a guy across half court to throw it to, because they'll learn to cheat that real quick, and you want them to learn to break pressure and, handle traps and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they'll always do that. So, all right, that was great, Coach. And I'll put that down in the show notes for the people that are listening. Hey, everybody, hope you enjoyed that. If you want to support us, you want to help us keep the lights on here at teachhoops.com, go over, join, 14-day free trial, and then stop the car, subscribe, like, Apple 5-star review. That would be good. All right, maybe. Have a good day. Bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Memorial Day doorbuster deals are here at Lowe's. Right now, Rewards members save $80 on the Master Forge 4-burner gas grill, now just $149. Plus, Rewards members save $900 on the Lowe's exclusive Hisense French door refrigerator, now only $999. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/26. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change.